So from my perspective, what I do now today too is spend most of my time coaching and training people who are new to product management. So I usually end up with a lot of people in my class or in my clients' offices who are very, very new to product management. One of the things that I've seen that makes a great product manager too, that I try to push people to figure out before they decide to dive into it, is they're thinking through how do we validate ideas and really get into it. So like, how do we validate ideas and figure out if this is the right thing to go and if it's the most valuable? So whenever I have somebody who's trying to get into something, if they don't have a place to practice it, right? Like they're not on a Scrum team, they don't have developers, they're kind of isolated. I suggest that they just try to validate problems, right? To do the thought pattern that is involved in that upfront work of trying to figure out, like, should we be going after this? So I say, take what you're passionate about, take one of the problems, go interview users, go talk to people who you think have the problem, understand it, try to come up with a solution, and create that kind of portfolio around that thought process that you can bring to clients and try to show them how you thought through it. To me, a lot of the development pieces are incredibly hard, working with developers, trying to work with them well, trying to work with the team, trying to put software out. But it's that beginning piece. Like if you don't have somebody who can really think through the thought process of validating an idea, trying to understand the business value in it, trying to see the potential markets, trying to understand if we go this way or that way, which one will have more of an impact. That to me is that's the hardest part of product management. So if I can get people thinking through that, showing their thought process with that really helps. If you do work for a company, so I used to teach at General Assembly, and we had a lot of people who were not product managers there, but did work for these larger companies. And what we said is just take one of the problems that you see from your customers and run with that in the context of your company. So we had one person actually from Shutterstock. She was a customer help representative. So she would answer the phones and help people with it. And she did a phenomenal job on her project. She took one of the biggest things that she saw come through the helpline. She understood it. She spent all her time on the phone talking to these people about it, trying to understand better. And she put together a whole proposal on how Shutterstock could tackle that through software. And she talked to the developers. She went out. She actually figured out what was possible, and she mocked up a bunch of wireframes. And she ended up being hired in as a product manager from her role because she really tackled the problems and understood them from that way. So I think it's an easier transition for sometimes to do that lateral move in a company, and anybody who can really find problems that are relevant for their business and show how they might tackle them has a pretty good shot of being recognized in the company for their skills.